beautiful people, and welcome back. In today's video, what are some of the dark sides of dating a guy with a high body count? What are some of the dark sides or some of the disadvantages of dating a guy with a high body count? By saying a high body count, because I know some of you don't know what I mean here, a high body count is the number, in short, the number of women this guy or this man has slept with. That is what we call a high body count. So you'll find that dating this guy with a high body count becomes disadvantageous, or it's actually the darkest part for a woman, because this kind of guy, while he was dating all these women, he was not having any attraction to these women. He was not having any attachment to any of those women. He was just there for pleasure, for leisure, and using these women and manipulating these women. So this is what we call high body count. What are some of the darkest parts of dating such kind of women? Let's go straight into this video.
A lot of men don't want to talk about this, but the older they get, they get sick of having sex with all these women, but they can't help it because they're so broken. They're not even connected with themselves. They're not connected with any of these women. There's no connection. There's no chemistry. There's nothing. Nothing. Having sex to men anyway is like taking a piss.
Start asking men what is their body count. Even if you're not direct about it, stop being with men or laying with men who have a high body count. They are damaged. Emotionally, they have lost ability to connect emotionally. They have lost ability to commit to anything serious for a long time, right? So they are usually in a haste to tap out of a relationship. They've not built anything. They don't, in fact, they lack sexual discipline. They've not built a true sense of self. They've not built anything outside of their sexuality or their sexual pleasure or their sex pleasure. They've not built anything outside of that. So aside from that, these people carry diseases. Some diseases do not show up on male bodies, right? Because let's take cervical cancer, for instance. HPV can be in a man's body for a very long time and it may or may not affect him. For you, a man does not have cervix, so it's not possible for him to have cervical cancer. But he can carry that HPV and transfer it to you, and you will have cervical cancer, right? Forget about HIV. Do you guys even know that a lot of men, like I think at a point there was a research I read that they said 48% of men have a 48% chance of escaping HIV so they can even sleep with a woman who has HIV and not contact the disease. But you, on the first go, you don't catch them. You don't catch them. So just before you guys think men cheating is normal, and stop being with these men who have been like everybody, they sleep with almost anything at all. There's no reason why there's no reason why a man who you want to be with should have, because if he does not have sex discipline, why are you trying to be with him?
Exactly, ladies. The darkest part or the darkest side, or in other words, disadvantages of sleeping with a man with a high body count. First of all, this man is already damaged emotionally. He's got no attachment to any kind of woman. This is the kind of man who doesn't let any kind of skirt pass ahead of him. Each and every skirt is beautiful to him. Each and every body of a woman that passes ahead of him is so beautiful. He's actually a lustful man. What he always thinks in his mind is only lust and sex with a woman. He is actually emotionally, psychologically, and mentally a broken man.
Okay, so having high bodies as a man, right? How does having a high body count affect men? So what most men tend to experience is men that have a high body count. What they tend to experience is selection disorientation, right? They're disoriented when it comes to the selection of things they like about a person when looking for a partner long term, right? And this becomes an issue because if you are dating multiple different people, or you've been with multiple different people, right, there's certain elements that you like from each person, right? And because men are very visual, they take a screenshot of, each certain things about each person that they've been with, right? The problem comes when it comes to selecting a partner, when you want stability now, when you want to be in a relationship and you want to get out of the streets, right? Because that's when you find yourself struggling to figure out what you want and what combination of traits in a person work the best for you, right? Because essentially you've been a different person with different people, right? So you don't know what brought out the best of you and what kind of relationship brought out the best in you, right? Because you've had so many people, it's hard to remember that. So now when you find a person, right, you may find a person that has, let's say, a couple of traits that you find are conducive for a stable relationship, right? And then you get into something serious, and then somewhere along the line you realize that the attributes that that person has are not the ones you value the most as a person. You start to discover, right, mid-relationship, that you may like certain traits that the person you've chosen doesn't have. And now you're so deep in it, you have attachment of some sort to that person, you feel guilty, right, and you feel lost, right? So it's either you end up self-sabotaging the relationship, finding a way to get out of the relationship, and because you think you know what you want now, you go find someone that has that value that you just identified with this person that you're dating, right? That you just thought of and it just came to you, right? And you find a person that has that value, right? Only to go mid-relationship and realize that is not really the top value that you look for in a person. Something else came up, and you strongly feel that that thing that just came up in your mind, that's now the strongest value that you look for in a person, right? And the journey goes on and on and on, and it becomes a cycle. So I guess the main overall idea behind what happens to men when they have too many bodies is essentially men fail to find love, right? You fail to find love. You end up in a relationship where you are constantly feeling like you're supposed to be somewhere else. You're supposed to be with someone else. You're not comfortable anywhere, right? Because you've let your body be overstimulated by so many different traits from so many different people, right? And the worst is when you get married and you can't really get out easily, right? Your partner could love you. You could be doing everything right, and they could love you, but you might actually start to feel jealous of what they are feeling from you that you can't feel from them, right? Because of those decisions that you made to have multiple bodies, right? And then the more you chase, the more you realize that you don't understand yourself anymore. You don't know yourself anymore. You don't know what works for you anymore. And you start to get into those struggles, right? You fail to actually find love, right? And then at some point you will give up, and then you will feel that that sadness when you realize that it's not possible for you to find love. And that's what high body count does to men. When you are looking for love, when you decide to look for love, right, you won't be able to find it.
Something that always blew my mind is how, when I talk about like how body count matters, niggas really be trying to absolve themselves of that. Like, it doesn't affect them. I can just sleep with any girl and just not have any type of sort of like energy put off on me and none of that. Like, niggas really be thinking they above the laws of spirituality and physics or anything else. Like, my nigga, her energy, her shitty ass, poor pussy energy is on you too. I don't know what the fuck make you think you can just walk around sleeping with people and think your spirit is gonna be unaffected. You letting people who do, you don't know what the fuck they into or like to do or take pleasure in, but you letting them, you entering in their body and thinking that shit is not affecting you. If you are sexually undisciplined as a man, you are just as dangerous as a promiscuous woman. You are just as worse as a fucking female that's running around hopping from dick to dick. You jumping from hole to hole like a motherfucking groundhog. Like, this is my thing with niggas. These diseases, you are not absolved from that. Spiritual warfare, you are not absolved from that just because you a fucking man. Put your dick in your pants and control your motherfucking self. Bitch ass nigga.
Look, let me tell you something, and this is why I strongly believe you shouldn't be sleeping with men. A lot of men right now are in relationship and are sleeping with women that they don't like. Most men sleep with women they don't like. How do I know this? You see the situation of body count, yeah? Most men will tell you when you get to know them, they'll be like, oh, they don't want a girl with body count, but they're comfortable sleeping with you. They're comfortable sleeping with you without a ring. So that means they see you as one of those girls that are not worth putting a ring on. That's just the truth. So if a man isn't taking the right steps, you shouldn't be opening up your body to this person, because they don't even see you as someone worth keeping. They don't see you as someone worth, being with. It doesn't make sense. So if a man is sleeping with you and telling you that he likes girls that preserve themselves, just know that you're not one of them. Yep, you're not one of them. He's talking about the person he wants to be with.
Anybody with double-digit bodies has no self-control. Self-control as in what? And I asked this person, have you not found 10 people in your life to be attractive? Like, attractive enough for you to sleep with? If you genuinely haven't, power to you. And they said something along the lines of, you can't just sleep with everybody you find attractive. And the question I ask is, why not? Like, if you're a single person, you deem to find someone very attractive, why not? That's something I'll never understand about the whole body count thing. When people are like, oh, this person has a body count of like 30, they lack self-control. I feel like it's the only lack of self-control if you're sleeping with people you're not attracted to just because you want the sensation of sleeping with somebody. That's a lack of control, okay? Like, if you can look at someone and be like, ooh, they're chopped, but you still want to do it anyway. But I truly don't understand why anybody would go around turning down the advances of people they found extremely attractive just for some arbitrary number to be lower. Like, I remember this one girl told me she was never going to let her body count get past 10. And I was just like, what? Like, there's no point. Like, there's no reason for that. And also, you cannot sleep with everyone that you find attractive and still have a high body count. Like, if you live in any city with over, like, let's just say 10,000 people, are you telling me there's not, like, at least 20 to 30 people there that you'd find attractive? So if you slept with half of those and you got to 10, 15, and that's me being like very conservative. You see what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous, because I remember I heard this guy who was talking about his friend. He was like, yeah, my friend's body count was 15. He slept with anything that walked. How was that sleeping with anything that walked, bro? 15 out of however many thousand in the area? Like, if I told you my body count was like 600, and you're like, oh, bro, you're probably sleeping with anything. That's much more reasonable. But like, y'all be like, again, like someone have a body count of like 20 and you'll be like, oh. And again, I could talk about this all day, but the numbers, they're inflated, okay? They're inflated. So it's like people are like, oh, this is a high number, but then if you actually divide by the amount of years someone was active, it really like will boil down to not even 5 partners a year sometimes. And I feel like if you're sleeping with 5 or less people a year, and you're single, you're not a loose person, you know what I mean?
The only men who can comment about body count are clean men, selective gents, men that don't have multiple baby mamas. The rest are not to be counting or worried about that topic, because they are part of the problem. You are being counted in 3 different houses. You've got 3 baby mamas. When they count their body counts, you are mentioned 3 times when. So there's no way you can comment. And those gents, they hardly even talk about topics like that, because they know those topics are not going anywhere. And then now men who are worried about body count have to come with excuses and things like, oh, women get finished. If women were getting finished, why is it that you can't tell that you've been getting a helper since you're in a relationship with this person? You've been married 10 years, your wife has been cheating for 8 years, but you still haven't noticed because it still feels the same. I pale. Also, how does this body count contribute to the household activities? Because the same men who are worried about it still need helpers financially. They can't even provide.
Your body count is more than 20 and I should be smiling because you are a guy. Shey, you are mad. I know you guys say, women body count matters. Even for me, my man's body count matters to me, because it shows your ability to be able to control yourself as a man. It shows me that, okay, this man is not about I know if you count how many girls I don't sleep with. Okay, you sound like you don't have brain. Because I don't know why people see it as a bragging power. It only shows a man that lacks discipline. You people want to brag about the women you slept with, Boya pé you carry it and go forward because you cannot be with me. As long as I'm concerned, I'm very interested in your body count as a guy. You cannot tell me that you slept with more than 20 girls. You have explored every. You know that this sex thing is not just STI or STD. There is spiritual attachment to it. You have climbed 20 spiritual beings. Women are very spiritual. You mean you have climbed 20 of them? You now say you want to come and climb me on top of it.
What your body count says about you. Let's go. If you got 0 bodies, let me tell you something right now. You, my friend, are a child of God. God is looking down on you and smiling. You are going straight to heaven. God bless your soul. If you have 1 to 2 bodies, I understand. Everyone makes mistakes. She better be your fucking girlfriend or your wife. That's all I'm gonna say. That's the only fucking circumstance 1 to 2 bodies is okay. If you have 3 to 6 bodies, you have already pissed off God, but you are not at the point where it is that bad. So I'm telling you right now, do not go anywhere past 6 bodies. Once you do that, there's a big problem. If you have 6 to 8 bodies, listen, God is frowning on you, I am frowning on you, but it's not too late to change your way. You can still stop. And if you have 9 bodies or up, don't fucking look in my direction. No, 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 no!
You're talking to a guy with a body count of 28 and it bothers me, but he's got money. Girl, all of them have high body counts, ma'am. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Where are you from? If they got money, their body count high. If they look good, their body count gonna be high. If they got a car, their body count gonna be. What era are y'all living in? It's hilarious to be like, who cares? Why does it bother you? It's gonna get higher even when you with them. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Sorry to break the news to you. And that might be a low number. He might have just picked the lowest number he could. All right. I don't understand, like, what era, like, the era that I grew up in, like, people just had common sense and they knew better. Like, they knew what was happening. They already knew. They didn't put all their eggs in one basket. They had a couple of them. They had, one on the side. They weren't all distraught if somebody did this or somebody did that. Where have you, like, who's been raising y'all? Okay. I blame Disney Channel. The heck? Social media been telling y'all lies. Girl. Before social media, we had just common sense and we lived in the real world. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what was helpful with us because we knew what to expect, what not to expect. And we knew the difference between fairy tales and reality. So hopefully y'all will too one day.
Guys, the other thing that I have to really say is that men who have really high body counts are the most likely to be cheated on by their girl. And I tell you why. Because when a man is engaging in casual relationships, he completely drops his standards. He wants a woman who's promiscuous, who's provocative, who might be cheating on her boyfriend to be with him, whatever it is. So what happens is they lose sight of what a good, wholesome woman looks like. They think that doesn't even exist anymore. So all it takes is for a girl to be slightly less promiscuous than the girls that he's used to, be slightly above the last kind of hoe he was with, for him to glorify her and think she's amazing and think she's a wife. So they end up just being with somebody slightly above the low value that they're used to, for them to think she's a wife and for them to commit. And they're forgetting that this woman is still promiscuous, still provocative, and will still cheat. And they lose their ability to select wisely is now damaged and skewed because they think good women no longer exist.
One question I struggle with in life, and I hate when people ask me, is what's your body count? Honestly, that's one of the questions in life that, is truly solely only up to the person to give you an answer, and then let alone whatever answer they give you, it's up to you to believe them or not. Like, they could be fucking lying to you. And nobody on this earth can confirm it except for that person. You feel what I'm saying? Like, 9 times out of 10, bro, I'm not going to ask you about your body count because I don't care. If I end up in a situation where I'm asking you your body count, you either did something that made me trigger you to ask you that question that got me thinking like, wait, hold on. How many bodies? Like, you feel me? But 9 times out of 10, like I said, I'm not asking, you feel me, what's your body count because I genuinely don't care. Like, and then I know personally I have a higher body count than you. I know this for a fact. So why would I walk myself into that situation knowing you're gonna say, oh, what's yours? And then I give you mine and now you're looking at me fucking great. Like, no cap, I used to lie. I used to lie like, I used to tell motherfuckers 7 was the number, and that's where I'm at. But on some real shit, bro, I stopped doing that shit a long time. I get more of a thrill looking women in the face and telling them my true body count and watching them go than to sit here and lie and say, 7. Like, you feel? And nowadays, I ain't even gonna lie. Most of the women that I'm messing with, bro, they way past 7. You know what I'm saying? And if I sit here and tell them 7 or 8, like, they not gonna believe me, bro. That's just on some real. So yeah, man, I used to lie like fuck, but don't do that. You feel what I'm saying? Tell the truth, bro. You feel me? Don't lie, bro. It's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? And then you gotta also understand, bro, this is your life, gang. It doesn't matter how many people you've laid down, slept with. If the person that you're trying to get with cares, bro, chalk it. Go on to the next person, because honestly, if you're being judged off a body count, gang, don't even waste your time, bro. Please.
That's it for today, guys. Dark side, or the horrific side of dating a man with a high body count. In other words, a lustful man, a man who has actually slept with several women. His work is just to sleep with each and every Mary he sees around, each and every Jennifer he sees around. That is a man with a high body count. So the darkest part of it is that this kind of men, they're actually broken emotionally, psychologically, and mentally. They don't know what they are looking for. They don't know what they want in a relationship. And this kind of men, they can never maintain a stable relationship because they're used to sleeping around with almost every woman they find out, they see or find out. And then another thing, friend, that this kind of men, the high body count men, most of them, they're actually players because they can't sustain or maintain a single woman. They've got to move from one woman, one relationship to another relationship. And that is one of the darkest sides of dating a man with a high body count. Another thing is that these men with high body count, they're actually disease carriers. For example, these men carry diseases, viral diseases, venereal diseases. For example, HPV and HIV. Let's give an example of cervical cancer. When it comes to cervical cancer, these men can carry this HPV virus for several years, several months and years. But the moment a woman, an innocent woman, sleeps with this man with a high body count, she ends up contracting cervical cancer because cervical cancer or this HPV virus can stay in this man's body for a very long time. This is the reason why you find that these men with high body count, they're actually disease carriers. So guys, thank you so much. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section, about this, dating these men with high body counts, or otherwise, men who sleep around with each and every woman. Let me know this in the comment section down, and bye-bye for now.